let's get ready.
I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours, for bullshit pay, so I can sit out here and waste my life away. Drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. All it is, living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. 'Cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end. 'Cause the rich men, north of Richmond. I wish politicians look out for minors, and not just minors on an island somewhere. Lord, we got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat, and we hobies milking welfare. God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge round. Young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground, 'cause all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down. Lord, it's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. All it is, living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. And they
All right, I needed to stop there. I am not a fan of country music, but the words of the song, the message resonates with. I can not only talk about myself, but I believe with every individual who is going through the same thing. My heart is racing. All right, Oliver Anthony has put out a message and shared with the world the following. It's been difficult as I browse through the 50,000 messages and emails I received in the last week. The stories that I have shared paint a brutally honest picture. Suicide, addiction, unemployment, anxiety and depression, and hopelessness, and the list goes on. I'm sitting in such a weird place right now in my life. I never wanted to be a full-time musician, much less sit at the top of iTunes charts. So right now he's sitting #1 on iTunes. Draven from Radio WV and I filmed these tunes on my land with the hopes that it hits 300,000. Right now it's, from last time I checked, 26 million the last 11 days. I still don't quite believe what has went on since we uploaded that. It's just strange to me. People in the music industry have been contacting him and giving him blank stares. And this is him saying right now, when I brush off $8 million, I don't want 6 tour buses, 15 tractor trailers and jets. I don't want to play stadium shows. I don't want to be on the spotlight. I wrote the music. I wrote because I was suffering with mental health and depression. When someone experiences mental health, they tend to bottle themselves and keep it to themselves, whatever that they're enduring and suffering, and they feel bad of sharing what they're struggling with. However, he overcame and decided to speak up by sharing and using his gifted music and writing and producing this song, which he was able to share with all of us. And he wrote the music right here. He's saying, I wrote the music because I was suffering. These songs have connected with millions of people on such a deep level. Yes, it has. Because they're being sung by someone feeling the words in every moment they were being sung. No editing, no agent, no bullshit. Some idiots and his guitar. Honestly, he shouldn't say that because he's not. He's just sharing this world anthem song. Honestly, kind of a protest, but in a good way, where he is being harmonious and humble, and this is something that many of us resonate with. The style of music that we should have never gotten away from in the first place. He didn't want to reserve a place or travel a million miles away just to set up and edit a video of his music. So I just figured out he's from Farmsville, Virginia, and he is from the Appalachian Mountain. He has been raised humbly. I can resonate with that because I also was raised in a farm, so I know the experience of survival mode and trying to take care of animals, and us trying to feed ourselves as well, and raising them, selling them, you name it. He was working in a factory, he got injured. There isn't a way where, like, if you're injured, they're gonna pay you back, right? And unfortunately, that's not how the system is here in the States. Yes, there's health plans. However, you're still paying for that health insurance. Because of his song of the feelings that he's going through and the struggles that every day, every other individual in this world, not only in the US, also struggles. I can share with you, like, for me, for example, I have known people in Japan where they also work long hours, and that's something that where they also tend to get frustrated and also depressed, and it is very difficult for us trying to, like, enjoy our time to be off, working Monday through Saturday, and you only have a day off. That is very hard on yourself, and trying to dedicate the time of self-care and try to have the time to spend time with your family and just enjoy the little time that you have with those you love, or doing little things that you enjoy to do. So now in days you have to try to balance the workplace would include family, which makes it difficult. However, without work, since we're in a working class, how will we pay for our bills, our health insurance, our food, our education? That's another thing. Some areas in other countries, they offer education for free. Another countries such as like Japan, if you are pregnant and you have your child for 1 year, they pay for you to be with your child without working. So if only things could be different, where those who are in power and have to make impactful and important decisions would think in a way of what are ways that can help our citizens in our society of taking care for them, right? Yes, they're working for us, but let's do something for them. However, you can see that the increase of inflation and cost of living has been just rising, and it's just frustrating for not only for him, of course, but for us as well. Different types of jobs, you have to put in the time and the effort and dedication and commitment. Oh, like for example, I'm in the military, I need to work out every day. Sometimes it depends on the person as well, on their body, on their mental, and on their spirituality. That's another thing that can include of you wanting to improve on what you need to meet when it comes to like physical fitness, working out. Every individual's life in this world has a struggle, and it's up to the most powerful and rich person who is in charge of making important decisions can negatively affect those who are us, basically. And it's very important, and I wish that these people can just pay their undivided attention instead of others. So for example, immigration. Immigration is right now, currently, unfortunately, not saying that I'm against immigrants, however, are prioritizing our funds from our country for immigrants instead of taking care of their own, instead of taking care of those who are veterans, citizens who are living in the state. I can share, and right now here I'm being vulnerable. My mother was in a shelter, and she went into the system because she ran away from domestic violence from Florida, and she was in the hopes of New York City welcoming her back. However, it wasn't that way. They threw her out of the system 3 times because they were prioritizing immigrants. So it made it difficult for her to receive Medicaid, to receive food stamp, because it's overpopulated because of all of these immigrants. And it's very frustrating to know that they were unable to take care of the people who are their own, you know? And it's unfair. But the important thing, I gave her the support. I made sure I travel away from 5 to 6 hours away from New York City and came back to Northeast in order to help find her a place, find her Medicaid, food stamps, and the resources where she can just get back to receiving medical treatment, receiving therapy, receiving food from places and charities that give away food pantry. With the support of the system here in the north of New York, it is going to help her allow to become independent, become more selectively cautious of the decisions that she makes. You know, when I went and joined the military, this was something that I decided to do. My parents didn't push me to do it. When I decided I wanted to work and do something that is pushing and just exceeding my level of physical and mental, nobody else pushed me except myself. I became independent, and I decided I wanted to raise my hand and say an oath and join the military service and commit myself to our country and ensure that I am going to provide a better life, not only for our own, but also for my family. I wanted to make a difference, being the first female in the military of all branches, and just be an example for my now future generation. And I have 2 beautiful sons. I'm happily married, and because of, you know, us being in the US, we have been able to live our dreams and do things that we were never able to do. And I'm just very grateful for that. However, we're working long hours, and having that little time of not spending with our family is kind of frustrating. And also now with the price and inflation increasing, it makes it more difficult. And there's people that are living paycheck to paycheck, And being in the military, you're moving every 2 to 3 years, which makes it more difficult. Yes, they pay some amount, but it doesn't cover, like for rental car. That's an example, and I have to pay out of pocket in order to provide transportation, because in the installations, some areas don't have buses, some areas don't allow taxis, so it makes it difficult for us, especially with family, and you going to walk in processing areas. And yes, you do have sponsors, but those sponsors are not available